Amina poured herself a cup of tea, the fragrant steam rising gently, promising a quiet moment of warmth. She carried it to her table, ready to unwind. But just as she was about to take that first comforting sip, her phone buzzed. A single message. That single message turned into a notification, which then led to scrolling through an endless feed. One post turned into another, and another. Time slipped away unnoticed. When she finally looked up and reached for her cup, the steam was gone. She touched it. It was cold. A frown creased her forehead. With a sigh of frustration, she stood up, walked to the microwave, and reheated the tea. Back at the table, the steam once again danced above the rim. But before she could even lift it, her attention was stolen again, this time by an email notification on her laptop. She told herself, just one quick reply. But one reply led to organizing her inbox, which led to planning her tasks for the next day. By the time she remembered her tea, it was cold. Again. A wave of annoyance washed over her. Why couldn't things just stay the way she wanted them to be? Why couldn't she have this one simple, perfect moment? It felt like a small failure, a tiny reflection of a much larger struggle. She sighed, her shoulders slumping. It felt like she was constantly chasing a feeling, a perfect state. That kept slipping through her fingers. She stared at the still, silent cup. Her first instinct was to get up and reheat it a third time, to force it back to being the hot, ideal cup of tea she had envisioned. But this time, something stopped her. She just sat there, looking at it. The light caught the surface of the dark liquid. It wasn't what she wanted, but it was what she had. Right here, right now. Slowly, instead of getting up, she lifted the cold cup to her lips and took a sip. The flavor was still there. It wasn't the warm, soothing experience she had anticipated, but it was still tea. It tasted fine, different, yes, but perfectly fine. It was crisp, refreshing in its own unexpected way. As she took another sip, a profound sense of calm began to settle over her, quieting the frustration in her chest. A thought bloomed in her mind, clear and sharp. How often did she do this in her life? How often did she reject the present moment because it wasn't the perfect, idealized version she had in her head? She was constantly trying to reheat her life, waiting for the perfect job before she could feel successful, waiting for the perfect relationship before she could feel loved. Waiting for the perfect sunny day to finally go for that walk. She was always reheating things, hoping that this time they would come out just right. This time it would be warmer. This time it would be faster or easier or better. But in all that waiting and reheating, she was missing the moment itself. She was missing the life that was happening right in front of her, in all its imperfect, lukewarm glory. The tea continued to cool in her hands, but her frustration cooled with it. A quiet acceptance replaced the annoyance. She realized that some things don't need fixing. Some moments don't need to be warmer. Some experiences don't need to be different to be valid. They just need to be lived. They need to be accepted for what they are. The cold cup of tea wasn't a failure, it was just a different experience. It was a lesson in letting go of expectations and embracing reality. Amina finished the rest of the tea, sip by sip, exactly as it was. It wasn't the hot cup she had wanted, but in the end, it was exactly what she needed. It taught her that peace isn't found in a perfect world, but in our ability to find the beauty in the world as it is. Maybe happiness isn't about getting everything we want, but about wanting what we already have. Thank you for watching. For more inspiring videos and stories that make you think, please subscribe to Story Vault. We'll see you in the next one.